Most people think of Daytona as the birthplace of NASCAR, and it was, with the organization being formed just down A1A, not too far from here at the Streamline Hotel. But it was at another racing mecca where this organization got its teeth. When we think about the origin of NASCAR, we think about moonshiners, the smoky room at the Streamline Hotel where the founders met, and the beach course. But a year after NASCAR was formed, it was here, at the Charlotte Speedway, where the first strictly stock race, which is now what we know as the NASCAR Cup Series, was run. Do you remember that first race, what that experience was like as a kid?
Not a whole lot.
To be truthful, we don't know much about the race, except what has been passed down through legend.
We know what a big deal it was now, but there are very few media accounts of people that were there.
And a finish that featured the first controversy and first disqualification in series history.
Glenn Dunaway was driving a Ford, and in post-race inspection, they found out that there were modifications to the springs in the rear of the car that were not stock. The backstory is, just a few days earlier, this car was being used to transport moonshine. NASCAR disqualified Glenn Dunaway, and that moved second place finisher Jim Roper up to be the winner.
The race would end up being the first true test of the power of NASCAR as a sanctioning body, and to set the foundation for the structure we have today.
It was pivotal in our history because the owner of Dunaway's car sued Bill France, and a judge ruled that Bill France had the right to set the rules and establish guidelines for racing, and he upheld the disqualification.
And Dunaway was not the only one to go home from the track unhappy. Back then, you drove the same car to the race that you raced. And if you wrecked,
My dad turned the thing over, and we had to thumb a ride with my uncle to get back home. I do remember that part of it.
Jim Roper, who won that first race in Charlotte, actually thought so little of NASCAR that he went back home to Kansas and returned to racing modifieds. And Richard Petty told me that no one at the time really understood just what NASCAR could become. At the Daytona International Speedway, I'm Heather Williams.